go crazy. It go crazy. It go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. East side homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is O City. All the way to the bay, hit the base, feel me. Catch a case, cause it's beating up yo Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it out. Turn the volume up loud. It's a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Catch it all in the frenzy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. All the way from the O to LA.
What's going on, y'all? Hey, listen, I got my share done and my comment made. It's time for the intro to finish, okay? It's gonna be a good show. What's up, y'all? It is time for another Scoop show, okay? We are so glad that you have decided to come on in this room on this fine Tuesday evening and have this good conversation with us. And trust me, it's gonna be good, okay? We have got a locked and loaded first half of the show with these hot topics. We have got the fire starter coming through this evening. And listen, y'all, we about to tag team this thing tonight. We got something new for the people, okay? Okay, this is fire starter like to the third power. I'm excited for what we got going on this evening. And then I wonder if sis likes that. I wonder if she's listening yet. I wonder if she likes that. We got passion talk to the third power tonight. But anyway, in the second half of the show, we have got a really good topic that I'm excited about. The short conversation that Win and I had about it definitely brought forth some chuckles, but it is worth this is worth us having this chat tonight. So please get comfortable. Like I said, we have got a really great show, and we are glad that you are here. If you are new here, we want to let you know how we like to get down around here, okay? If you have not peeked into our comment section just yet, if you would please do that. And while you are there, drop your city and state, okay? We want to know where you are tuning in from. Me and Win, we get excited when we look at our insights at the end of the month and see a new city or a new state pop up on that good old spreadsheet at the end of the month. So if you would please help us out, give us a little prequel to what we get ready to see at month's end, it would be much appreciated. And while you're there, you could also please hit that share button so that your feed, where your people at, okay? We need them to know where you will be chilling for the next 2 hours, where this good conversation is going to be had. And you know what? Tag them in. Invite them to the conversation. If you know some folks who like to get their brain waves moving, okay? They like to really get down in that critical thinking space, and they like to giggle a little bit, you know, they like a little foolery every now and again, then the Scoop is where they need to be. Invite them into the community, okay? There's room in this room, okay? So please hit that share button so the people know where you will be. We also are out here in these social media streets, and we want to invite you. Like I said, there's room. There is room, honeys. If you would please pop on over to Instagram and YouTube and follow us on these here handles that my good brother is about to pop up on this screen, because we know we like visuals around here. So you can follow us on YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook, of course, at Real Scoop Show, and on Instagram at The Scoop Radio. Okay, so be sure and do that. And you guys, we have a group, okay? The group that generates all of our hot topics and so many of our conversations from week to week is just plain old The Scoop. Okay, so while you are in your Facebook search engine, go on up there, hit The Scoop, and look for the group. Be sure to answer the questions that are there. I believe there's only 3. Answer those questions and welcome to the party. Okay. So please, yep. Thank you, sis. Yes, the group is bomb. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. We love our group. We love our group. So yes, please join us, join us, join us. And that is it. That's all you got to do. See, it's easy. Little clicks. That's all. Little clicks. That's all we need. Okay. With that being said, that's all I got. Bro, how are you?
I'm good. I got a nap in, so I'm much better.
Oh yeah, you refresh.
It was a long day today. Yeah, but I got a nap in, so I'm good to go. I'm good. Ready for these topics. Whoa. So, how you doing?
I am very well. I had a really good day today. Really good day.
Yeah. Now the older I get, the more nap is just blesses me. I'm like, whoo.
Yeah, I didn't get a nap. Now I wasn't blessed like that. I'm planning on sleeping real good with the tea after we sign off. but yeah, I'm blessed on your behalf for that nap. That's good. That's real good.
I was like, look, last meeting done. I came home. I said, I called myself. I said, let me read a little bit. Next thing I know, my eyelids was reading me.
Reading will do it every time. That's better than melatonin right there. A good book with big words, it's a wrap.
Yeah, that was it. So that's why I still got the little Barry White going,
You'll wake up in about 15, 20.
Yeah, that'll be all right. We go back. All right. You ready to jump in these hot topics?
Let's do it.
But before we get into these hot topics, so y'all do know that you can advertise with The Scoop. And so, so we want to show y'all this. We got a new ad. So we want to show y'all this before we get into this. So.
Hey, what's up, friends? Let us introduce you to one of the fastest growing takeovers here in OKC. Bob's, better known as Black-Owned Business Group, is bringing us a 1-2 punch of excellence and culture by serving us up options, sugars. You know we love options. Check this out. Have you ever been outside living your best life, out and about on these newly remodeled streets, and found yourself way too close to eat? Then Bob's Shamrock Gas Station is where you need to be. It doesn't matter if it's your tummy or your tank. They have what you need. Pull up and fill up on delicious barbecue, premium gas, and locally sourced goodies from Black-owned businesses right here in Oklahoma City. Stop by and say hi at 2901 Northwest 10th Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73107, right across the street from the fairgrounds. Open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And for our licensed friends, after you get your tank right, head on down south to Bob's Dispensary, Oklahoma's newest solution for your medicinal marijuana needs. Bob's Dispensary is open and ready to provide you with the highest quality medical marijuana available. Top shelf and premium eighth specials all day long. And we have Oklahoma City's own award-winning Banji topicals on deck and ready to cover your body's needs. Come get to know us at Bob's Dispensary, 2701 South Central Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73129. Open Monday through Saturday from 12 to 8 p.m. Closed on Sundays. Show your support and save whenever you pull up and fill up at either Bob's locations by bringing your receipt from either business in and save 20% off your next purchase. See you soon, sugars. Hey.
Good job. yes. So again, y'all advertise with us, and we can help you formulate your own ad. Y'all give it up for Q and her wonderful voiceover. Uh, good job.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, let's go.
It is my pleasure.
Yeah, you did really good. And congratulations to Kels for the dispensary either way. I don't think we said that too, so that's dope.
Yep.
Number 2. So actually
Killing it.
it's like 4, but you know, business in a retail space, retail number 2. So
yes.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So let's kick it off with probably the most controversial thing for the week. Dave Chappelle and the closer. So Dave Chappelle released his fifth and final, he says, for a while, stand up comedy special on Netflix called The Closer. And as usual, our good brother David Chappelle has got in everybody's, made us think and all other stuff. But there's a lot of pushback, of course. And so the National Black Justice Coalition, along with other organizations, have asked Netflix to pull the special over what they called transphobic comments that he has made. So, what do y'all think? What do you all think about The Closer? And then Q, what are your thoughts about The Closer? And yeah, we can just go from there.
So I will start my thoughts with I have had a love side-eye relationship with Dave Chappelle over the years.
Yes, you did.
I have been very vocal about some of his previous specials and some of the jokes that he has had specifically about this particular community. And I did not get that vibe from this special. And I also can say that over time, my thoughts have grown and I have gotten a deeper understanding, and I've honestly had a different level of critical thinking where it comes to his specials. I've watched them again more recently, even before I knew this was coming, and I've gotten a different understanding. Not saying that I necessarily like any of the jokes that I didn't like before, but now with a better understanding of him and the type of comedian that he is, I see it differently. So with The Closer coming into it, I didn't even have to I completely understood it. I thought that it was thoughtful. I thought he did a very good job of being clear about who he was talking to and why. He went out of his way to make it plain as a, and be very, very, he was very careful while still being true to who he is and what it is that he was trying to say. And I think a lot of people expected a lot from him, so they didn't really listen fully to what he was saying. Whereas this was the special that was meant to clear it all up. And for so many, it was missed because there was an expectation of shock and awe. Whereas this gave us the thing that we have honestly been missing, I thought, from I thought a lot of the previous specials were kind of thoughtless. I thought they were kind of haphazard, the way that they were. That's not even the word that I'm trying to think. They were irresponsible. That's the word that I was thinking about for the severity of what it was that we were talking about, the seriousness of the subject matter and the people that we were talking about. So with this, I think he took that to a different level. He was much more responsible with his words and his thoughts and how he conveyed it while still being funny. Like, it was funny. I found myself laughing. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to convince myself to laugh. Like, I got it. So I expected the shock, the awe, the festivity of the people. I expected it. And I'm glad that Netflix held strong and was like, nah, fam, that's not what we're gonna do. That's not what we're gonna do.
Yeah. There was really only one part in there that I was like, ooh. Ooh. And so let me start by saying that. So my friends, my close friends, when we had this conversation about this, fully expected me, because I told them I wasn't going to give away how I felt, fully expected me to come on the show tonight and bash Dave Chappelle, because everybody knows I don't like, I don't pick on people, and I just didn't. So I just don't feel like he did. I felt like he was very thoughtful. I thought he was thoughtful to the point of, if you wanted to be mad, in my opinion, you just had to want to be mad, because really that whole thing was about white supremacy. And I'm like, did we miss that this was about white supremacy, and him trying to juxtapose? It was against white supremacy and a call for Black unity. That's what I walked away saying. With him saying was, listen, we're not if we want to, as a people, as a Black people, advance, we have to, I'll use the word, mimic what the LGBTQIA community has done. We have seen them progress in such a way that they get it's, what do you say? It's easy. It's, you get more trouble for making somebody in that community mad than you do for killing a Black person, which is what he said. So I think people miss that, because I think short of him coming out and and singing praise to to the community, to the transgender community, they were going to be mad. It was going to be a pushback. So I wasn't, like I was like, ooh, like I said, the one comment I was like, no. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, that's gonna get him trouble for that one. But outside of that, I wasn't really. Now the communicator in me thought, because I watched it twice. The first time I just listened. The second time I listened as a communicator, and I thought, this dude knows how to do what he does.
He's masterful at what he does with an audience. He's masterful what he does with an audience.
I was like, wow, this is, okay. I'm like, I wanted to be like, I could use this in some preaching classes, because this is like, you go on a ride, and he takes you, and he literally took you to the end. Anybody who communicates in front of an audience knows that the whole goal is to get you to the end. And at the end, it's like, boom, this is what I wanted you to say. And at the end, it was, let's all have empathy for one another. Even if we don't understand it and it's uncomfortable, let's all be empathetic to one another. And I was just like,
he gave an example of the thing that has been following him over all these years as it relates to this community. He gave the actual proof of what the assumptions were for him in real time. And so many missed it. So many missed it. And I think, there are many. I was listening to, James had an interview on that he was listening to, where someone from the LGBTQ community, a Black woman from the LGBT community, specifically trans, was speaking about her thoughts on this special. And she mentioned how Dave had pretty much ignored that there is a Black trans community, and that in his comments, in him saying that, he was basically excusing those in our community who are transphobic and homophobic and are not, you know what I'm trying to say. So I thought to myself, okay, I could see that, because that has been one of my frustrations as an advocate and a member of this community. And I think to myself, okay, that tracks to a certain point. Each entertainer is given a platform, and they choose what they want to discuss on their platform. That does not limit other entertainers from using their platforms to speak about those things. Dave has been consistent about his target that he is going to talk about on his platform. So for us to want to criticize or cancel him because he excluded something from his platform because it's what we wanted him to speak about is kind of entitled, because that's not what he's ever said that he wanted to discuss. He is about empowering. So it would not make sense for him to get on his stage and say, oh, I'm going to fuss at the Black people. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that.
No. And
so
he prods us. He does, like, he prods us to unity, but he's not fussing.
Yeah. And that does not excuse those within our community who are homophobic or transphobic.
Absolutely.
But that is not what we're talking about. We can't say on some subjects we can walk and chew gum at the same time, or I can care about multiple things and then say, well, he didn't talk about that. Well, he'll maybe next time. But he's had a mission this entire time to discuss this particular thing. And we've missed it time and time again. So, maybe he's gonna give us a minute. Maybe that's why he's like, okay, now I done put a round 5 out there. Let y'all marinate on that, and I'll be back when we get on the same page. Because we continue to miss it. No matter how much material he gives us, no matter how deep he goes with the content. Like he gave us the breakdown this time. If we can't get it after this, then I mean, like, what do we do?
Yep. I agree. All right, let's go ahead and check out some of these comments.
Yep.
Tanya said, I think the closer was a great piece of artistry. He's a comedian. That is his artistry. Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Donnell says, DC did amazing. Such an incredible way to approach the culture. The hatred that cancel culture is dealing out is a reflection of the pain they are projecting. It's sad they couldn't see the love he had for Daphne. They are perpetuating more division while he was speaking from a sincere and compassionate manner. Over time, I think people will receive him well, but right now people are too used to being triggered. I think Donnell, I think that's the other point I wanted to bring up too, is I think that because, we've talked about this in other contexts, how when we don't feel heard or when we don't feel like, that we feel like we're being oppressed, that when we do, we swing from one end of the pendulum to the other. And then over time, we kind of come back to the middle. And I think that's where we are now. We're at the other end of the pendulum where it's like anything, again, that's why I said, short of him saying, I love y'all. And, what I mean? Like, I love y'all and I'm sorry. And anything he would have said would have been jumped at. Because of how his history, his previous discussions or specials and things he said have been perceived and received, it wouldn't have mattered. So I do think over time it'd be like, okay. And to your point, I think this one was probably like he put this in a nice little pretty bow for us. So it's like y'all deal with it now. So Ryan says he lost a close friend that was transgender. His experience is authentic, and he makes real life funny comedians are healers. Absolutely. Because there's very few spaces where you can talk about this, and not so. I'm not gonna say you can't talk about it well, but it's very difficult to talk about this in a situation in certain spaces, and I think he handled it well.
Yep.
And hopefully this will bring the conversation forward so that we can get to a place where, like you said, everybody can feel heard and be heard. So, all right. Any other comments about that? No? Okay. All right. Let's go. If anything gets you triggered, this one will. No, I'm kidding. This is a phone conversation between King and somebody. King asks, how do you keep a man? And the person who King is responding to says, excuse me? And he says, what are your tools to keep a man? I believe this is a harmless question. And the response is, LOL, harmless, maybe after an introduction. Maybe hi, how are you? I'm marvelous. Thanks for yourself. And he responds, we are both aware that formal introductions are not appealing to the majority of females. In addition, I'm not a fan of small chat or monotonous discussion. Allow me to forego the small talk for the time being because we are here to create relationships, correct? I can easily see what your name is, and the same is true for you. So, what tools do you have at your disposal to maintain a man? Yes, this is a completely innocent inquiry. Y'all go ahead and put your thoughts in. Q, thoughts.
No, player. Nah. I'm not.
You're not a to the table. What you bring to the table, person.
No, not like this. If you look above, there have been no previous conversations between these people.
Which is her point. That's her point.
This is way too aggressive for me. Way too aggressive for me. I don't know you, bruh. I don't know you. I'm not going to do all of this with you. Now, if after we've had a relationship, after we've had conversation and we have established that there is potential romantic interest, then this question could be asked. However, if you were to ask me like this, I would answer the question, but I'm going to let you know that this is a tacky ass way to ask this question. Like, don't do that. That is not for me. Yeah. This is not my communication style. Yeah. This is too aggressive for me. I'm a very to the point type of chick, but there's still something called tact. There's a thing called I want to get like the best possible response out of you. Like, I want you to put care into how you respond to me. This is cold and I'm not for this. This would be a complete turn off to me. And we would not be compatible. Even after we had, because if this is how he talks, like there's probably this is even if he were to do like an introduction, it would be a very dry introduction. Like there's not going to be a whole lot of oomph onto it because he feels that's not necessary. So like in general, I don't think this person would be compatible with me. Like this would not. No.
Yeah. First of all, I didn't know that small talk was something that people didn't like. So let me just start there. I didn't know how was your day? How are you doing? I didn't know that was something that most females didn't like. I learned something new. I was like, oh, maybe I should stop doing that. But I'm kidding. I would not do that. But I didn't recognize that. So, or that it was not appealing to the majority of females. That's not true. That's not true. So I found that to be kind of weird. I think that when I read this, he sounded like someone who just really just doesn't like. I just want to be like, dude, just relax. Like you're getting to know her. She's getting to know you. Like, yeah, this is, we can somewhat compare it to an interview, but that's really not what this is. This is not, you're not interviewing her. You're getting to know her. So just talk, and all of the things that you want to know, you can find out without having to ask these questions. And most of them you can find out within the first couple of conversations. So like what and the other part of this is I think that any man should recognize and any woman should recognize that the things that a person brings, to maintain a man are going to be something that a lot of times you're going to discover as the relationship progresses. Like you don't know, like
they're specific to that man. Like, she don't know you.
So like, what are you gonna say? I can cook. Like, okay, cook, clean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is you can give traditional things. Yeah, I cook, well, I clean up. But outside of that, you're not gonna find that out until she figures out who you are as a man, and you figure out who she is as a woman, and you have to figure out like, oh, these are some ways that I could assist him. I can assist her. I can come alongside and partner with him. I can partner with like you don't know those. Like there's no lists for that. You can see, yes, okay, these are some strengths and weaknesses that they have that maybe I can help. Well, now I can't do nothing with that one because I'm not good at that either.
Right.
But it's just weird.
Yeah. To your point about, to the point that he's attempting to make about the small talk, women don't like spam likely type conversation. If you sound like a hacker because you have nothing to say, conversation is still an art, so to speak. There is a finesse to having good conversation, especially when it's primarily via text. Okay, so if that is the avenue, the platform that you are using to romantically engage with people, you have to do something about your conversational skills. She ain't steady looking at your profile picture. She's comparing the words. So it's not like the googly eye because you just this fine and I get to just do this as you say stupid stuff to me.
Yeah.
And it's okay because you look good. Like, and at this age, even that is worn off. You know what I mean? So like you have to have something coming out of that pretty mouth. So if I'm looking at what you doing, nothing, working, what you got up, nothing, what?
That's
and then you hit him with a paragraph and then he hits you with a K or something like that. Like, bruh, like, you know what I mean? Like if she's trying and after so many times there's nothing, yeah, bruh, that's small talk. That has no point. If you don't have anything that's gonna get me going, if you don't have anything that's gonna start my brain to move, I'm not interested. So that is what women are saying. Come with more than just what you doing. Oh, nothing, chilling.
Send me a picture.
You want to come chill? Like,
let's Netflix and chill. Send me a picture.
Yeah. So it's asking for you to have more words. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna get a shirt. I swear, Keitha, if you watching, I'm cash apping you more word. Hashtag more words is what I'm going for. Because I don't understand.
Yeah, I was gonna say to me, the more words, the better. So that's why I'm like this whole idea of that's not small talk. What you described is stupid talk. Yeah. Even if they're conversational starters, they have to go somewhere, which I do recognize that a lot of ladies get those, which is, the whole good morning text thing, like say something else. Don't just good morning.
Right.
Say something and let's have a conversation, which is again, but the conversation is not, so what do you bring? What do you bring to the table? Or what are you to keep a man? That's pretty rude, actually. Let me just be honest. It's pretty rude, is what it is.
Right. Y'all didn't have no player uncles. Nobody, what happened to bring back the player uncles? I'm sorry. Okay. Because y'all out here bad. Like they have just done the generation a disservice. What happened
I said just talk to her.
Yeah, but there's still a finesse to it. Like you can tell me the truth and it still sound real good. What happened to that?
Absolutely.
You don't have to lie for it to sound like those things do not have to be the same. You can tell me a really good truth and it sound good. Make me go, ooh, okay.
Like, wait.
Okay. It happens.
Absolutely.
But damn.
What is
I be feeling sorry for these. Y'all don't even understand what goes down in these inboxes. Like the way that we be like, look at this.
I told you, I said I need to be a fly on the wall in some of these conversations because I'm trying to help, but anyway. What is a divine? What's a divine masculine? What is that? What is that?
Good morning, Queen. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising.
One of them Grand Rising.
Is that what they call? Oh Lord. Woo. Grand Rising. Yeah.
Listen, and I'm a chakra chick, but don't Grand Rising Queen. Don't do that. I am very in tune, okay? But don't Grand Rising Queen me. No, don't do that.
I'm gonna start doing it to you now.
I'm gonna at you real quick. Don't. Jamie, boy.
I'm gonna do it to her too.
I'm gonna block Q has left the chat. I'm gonna leave the chat.
It's just me and you. You can't leave.
I'm blocking you. You are not able to respond to this chat for 30 minutes until I mute you. I'm muting that chat until you get the background.
I'm like, you can't. What the video said? You can't say good morning because morning is sad, and we're not mourning. I saw that video. I hollered. I said, Lord. Anyway, y'all don't ruin Grand Rising.
That ain't what that word means. Morning don't mean morning. Those are two different words, y'all. Try again.
I see. Shanae said, she said he blocked after the first message. I don't have time. I don't have the energy to spare. LOL. He's going to require too much mental upkeep.
Child, right.
She says, if he says, as if he knows the majority of females.
Right.
Yeah, spam likely. Yeah.
That's what it feels. We know as soon, like after 3 messages, we know that somebody been hacked and be like, get out my inbox. That's how that feels. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all know.
They say he was just a great. I'm gonna say, listen. So the inboxes that I do get I find out about a lot of times. This is all I could do. Brother.
It's bad.
Bro, I've seen. I've heard.
Yeah, they be doing the most. The most.
Can't even spell morning. I know.
They the ones that say I'm sorry for your lost on posts and stuff. Talking about good morning, grand rising. Get out my face. Sorry.
Mm-mm.
It's just so silly. It's so silly.
All right, we got to move on. Come on. So this one is funny. This one took me out this week.
Oh.
This one took me out. So I said I posted this and I said, ladies, is this really your testimony? So dude on TikTok asked ladies, what does sex feel like? And some of these answers, oh my God. Some of the answers were, when sex feels like to her when someone is scratching your back and misses the part that is actually itching. Another lady said it's an acting career. Another lady said it's like listening to your favorite song, but it pauses right before the best part. Another lady says like you're about to sneeze and it never happens.
That hurts after a while.
Another one said like you're waiting for the beat to drop and it never happens. When you go to the fridge because you're starving, but you leave empty-handed. She said, feels like I should have been a lesbian. Another one said, it's kind of like when your kids help you clean and you tell them they did a good job, but you end up doing it yourself.
I'm way too petty for this post.
She said, you know how when you do a group project, but in order to finish, you end up doing all the work yourself? It's kind of like that. Is that bad? Listen.
It be hard out here sometimes for these ladies.
I was like, look, I was like, oh, I'm laughing, but part of me is like, oh, like what are we doing?
The wrong stuff.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
It is interesting out here. This post is, while I can't say that I can identify personally with all of the things here, I can say that there are some issues out here with the understanding of what good sex is. There's a big disconnect in men and women in what good sex is.
Yeah.
Clearly. And a lot of it is women are not communicating. There is a lot of empty space. There is a void between truth and just getting through. A lot of women are willing to deal with it because the man is good in a whole bunch of other spaces.
Yeah.
So, when they're in these women's groups or they get the opportunity to anonymously share some things, then you get to hear some of those feelings that they don't feel they ever get to share. But this is why you get those women that'll say, yeah, sex ain't all that. Like, it's not the biggest deal to me because they found other ways for it to happen, but there's a disconnect. The fellas ain't putting it down the way that they think they are.
Clearly.
But there are some men who will say that the ladies are doing the same thing. Like, we have lost what it means to give pleasure to someone else.
Absolutely.
in all aspects of the word. We have lost what that means. I mean, all aspects of the thought. We don't even identify with what that looks
I
like.
don't think that we take the time. Like you said, I don't think we're taking the time to do it. I don't think we're willing to tell the truth to do it. And then I think it gets to it like, so there's just like this really crazy cycle that that's happening of you're not telling the truth, and then so after a while your disdain for it starts to show, and now he's wondering how come you don't want it, and you ain't telling him you don't want it because you're not good, like you're not good, and I don't enjoy this, and so now he's frustrated. Well, you're frustrated because it's whack, and he's frustrated because now all of a sudden you used to want it and now you don't, and I'm trying to figure out why, and so we all frustrated about something that we're supposed to be enjoying.
Yep. And that's when it becomes dutiful instead of beautiful.
Absolutely.
Bars, but no.
Jeez. I'm be honest with you. I think we got to do something about this, like, because to me it's like it's hard enough. It's hard enough to be in relationship with somebody, and like the things that you're supposed to really enjoy. This is one of the things you're supposed to really enjoy that you can't even really enjoy it, and so we got to figure out how we could do better, how we could communicate better, because some of the communication is gonna hurt some dudes' feelings, but it's the truth. Like, hey, you not hitting nothing but air, partner. This ain't.
What's the beat? I need you to get on rhythm. I need you to find that rhythm and write. And mumble rap don't work under these sheets. Figure it out. Find you a cadence and stick with it, player. Like but I'm like, think about it though. Our music has changed.
Absolutely. That's our
entertainment, how we talk about it tonight. I mean, how we talk about it to each other, the words that we use to describe sex, to describe romance, to describe dating.
We don't talk about romance. It's just
it's rough. It's aggressive. There is no care.
Yes, absolutely.
So where is it supposed to come from? And then when you find someone who is all lovey-dovey and wrapped into it, we call them a sap.
Or a simp. Or you saw
all of that. Like
yeah. It's we have to figure out how to redefine this entire idea of what it's like to. I'm not going to even use the word romance, but to in that space to just care for one another well, because really a lot of it is just taking your time to figure out what the other person needs and putting the other person's need before your nut. So,
bro, did y'all hear that? Like, somebody put that in the comments so we can go back on the screen. But like, yes, and that's for men and for women, because like there's a lot of us. Because women, we come into it with a certain understanding, like we want this huge, some of us are still caught in the 90s and early, when things were romance. So we're expecting this, and we're just expecting him to do this. And he don't know that. Like, he didn't watch their movies. He wasn't doing Menace to Society and Boys to the Hood when we was watching the Waiting to It, the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we was not on the same page. So there's going to have to be a level of education and care in how we go about doing that, because somebody done gave him some without doing the candlelight dinners and the music in the background. So it's worked before. So like, you coming in and telling him now that this don't work, you gonna have to figure out a way to do that so that he says, well, it worked for her. You know what I mean? So like, we're gonna have to be able to do that and understand that there is some room for that. Everybody doesn't just know. Everybody doesn't just know. Right. So
even if you know with somebody else, so you don't know with that person. So now again, go back to the previous post. These are some of the things that at some point you communicate about, where you get to know each other to find out if you are on the same page sexually, because that is a part of what's going to make your relationship beautiful. So how do we, we have to figure out, like, do you like it rough? Do you like it romantic? Do you like a mixture of both? What's your What's your thing? What's not your thing? Like you, all of those things are things that you have that you know discovered together as a part of creating intimacy in your relationship. So, but talk and ask. Like again, create a like it's like create a space where the person can say that, or where a person can hurt your feelings. Or say something that could potentially hurt your feelings, or tell you, "Hey, I need to say this, and I don't want it to hurt your feelings, but I need to have an honest discussion. Like I'm not enjoying sex."
Yep. And your care for that person should hear that as them taking care of you as a unit,
right?
As a couple. That is someone. Because do you really want someone just doing it because they supposed to?
Nobody wants sympathy sex.
Okay, so like respect the fact that they gave a damn enough to put themselves in that space and say, we got to do something about this.
Yeah, and this
is it we have to do something about this. Yeah. It's not a you, it's a we. What can I do? Because Shanae, you're right, foreplay does matter for both of us. There's a misconception that women are the only people who like foreplay, right. And that is not true, or else we wouldn't have so many men asking about initiation. Yep. And we know what initiation means in man speak. It don't just mean push him up the wall and snatch his boxes down. That's not what he's saying, sis.
Yep. And I would say that just because, I mean, we know the numbers of women who don't reach orgasm. We know, that there's but there's something that we want something else too, like you just said. So it's not all about, we want that feeling, which is what you were just referring to. We want that feeling that of being cared for and loved, just like women do. So men ain't the only, I was gonna say men ain't the only one faking orgasms either. So, or women aren't the only one. Men are faking orgasms too. It's all about care. How do I care for you well? So, all right, it's passion talk. We'll come back to these other ones.
Okay. Ain't gonna get in trouble tonight. Okay. So y'all heard at the intro. If y'all have tuned in later on, we got something special for Passion Talk. Okay. So the fire starter has called in the crew. Okay, in full regalia. Okay. Usually me and Wynn get to take a break. We get to sit back and take some notes. But tonight we have all three of us, the whole squad. Okay, is going to be in for tonight's topic. So I'm not going to belabor this introduction because again, you get all three of us, and we want to get right on into this so that we can take the full time for sis. So without further ado, Scoop fam. My good sis, what's going on?
Hey,
Victoria.
What up, squad? What up, Mason? I've been enjoying this conversation.
I told you it was gonna be good. I said it was gonna be good, girl.
I've been enjoying it. I just want to offer condolences for those who've been experiencing bad sex. I mean, I'm not even active currently, but when I was, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just so sorry. I'm just so sorry. It holds me till today, huh? It holds me until today. That's how great it was. I'm just saying.
I wasn't ready for that. It holds me until today.
Y'all weren't ready for that?
Yes.
He's gonna be back. He just needs a quick potty break. This is your girl, Cicely Victoria, owner and founder of Passion International. My business street is to help train and equip people to find their voice of identity so they can stop people pleasing and be empowered, encourage confidence and communication. I'm a certified professional coach. I am a counselor as well. I'm the queen of empowerment, y'all, and I set people's lives on fire for a living, and that's why they call me the fire starter. Welcome to Passion Talk, where we are giving you practical tools for everyday living so you can press into your personal power. And as the queen has stated, the whole crew is present and accounted for on tonight because I need some support. I need some backup. I need some expertise, okay? I never told y'all I know everything. I never told y'all that, okay? So y'all will not put me in that bucket. Teamwork makes the dream work. So we're going to go for it, okay? So we have a Dear Fire Starter letter. Y'all get 2 months in a row. Y'all came in, y'all really starting in the 10th month of the year to get active. I'm proud of you.
We hear it out.
It took a little minute, but you came. You showed up to the party. Don't black folks always show up late. I'm just going to say, that's what it is. But we have a nice one, okay? And I need all people accounted for. So we're gonna read the letter while Wynn is gonna come back, and then we're gonna go for it. Okay. The situation is this. It's anonymous, y'all. It's a female, age 37. It's she's recently divorced with 3 children. Oh, Wynn did good. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Right on time.
Extra points for Wynn. Okay, I'm gonna send you some heart emojis. Okay, recently divorced with 3 children. She's divorced after 13 years from a 41-year-old man due to infidelity on her end. He cheated previously, but they stayed together, but emotionally she was having a hard time coping, and her friend made her friend, I'm making out this writing, y'all. Her friend made her comfortable basically while they were separated, which i.e. turned into a secret lover, as we know happens. Okay, so they had an affair for 2 years, and it came to question whether or not even one of the children that she had with her husband was fathered by the ex-lover that she had an affair with. Okay, he knew this, the husband knew this, and agreed to work it out upon the agreement that she would never tell the other man, and that there will be no DNA test happening at all to discover anything. The older the daughter got, the more she began to look like the ex-lover instead. And then the ex-lover began to question via social media about the paternity of this child. The husband made me block him, the ex-lover. I had a hard conversation where I told my husband that I couldn't deny my daughter the opportunity or deny him a right to know if he's the father. The husband divorced this woman. She says, I'm still in love with my husband, and even after the divorce, I want him back. We have sex on occasion, but I want the family back. Things I've done to deal with it is move on as best as I could and cut off the sexual relationship with the ex-husband and began to seek therapy. So she wants to know, should she begin a conversation with all 3 of them to allow closure and hopefully begin a healing process for all of them? And then if so, how does she arrange that? And would you even suggest that? So my preliminary thoughts, and I want y'all to jump in. First and foremost, wise. So stop having the sex, right? With the ex-husband. That just adds confusion. Shut up, Wynn. It adds confusion. And then husband, the husband to me is like, though understandable, wanting avoidance with not knowing the paternity, okay? Because in the back of his mind, he probably does truly believe that it may be the ex-lover's child. And so he's just practicing unhealthy avoidance there. These are just some observations. Thoughts about conversation, maybe separately with them, with a neutral professional, or collectively as an intervention with all of the adults. I'm like battling between the 2 of them. So I want to get y'all thoughts on this.
I'm sure Wynn has to think a little longer because he's got counselor thoughts going.
Hold on, just so I understand. She wants to cut it off because she's ready to end it.
She wants to cut the sex off? Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
With the ex-husband, because she just, I don't think it's helping her situation. Like, it's allowing them to be close, like, you know, romantically and intimately, but not as a family, which is ultimately what she really wants.
And it doesn't say how long they've been divorced?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So I definitely think she needs to continue counseling. I'm very interested in what her counselor's thoughts are on this conversation. I think she needs to go ahead and confirm that baby's paternity. We need to know.
That too.
That needs to be done for the baby. I think mom has to realize that this is essentially the fallout of the actions. Regardless of how we got here, this is the fallout. So she's going to have to put the big girl panties on and put her, you know, say it with her chest in all of these environments. So her daughter has to be who she's trying to protect. And she has to do that by cutting the sex off. I completely agree with you that fuzziness is unnecessary. It needs to be an all or nothing. The fact that he's still entertaining her even in that way leads me to believe that he still also cares for her. That divorce was like a stomp and pout, like a tantrum type of thing,
Yeah,
wondering
I
how
agree.
far you really gonna go.
Eventually.
And I didn't notice that she said that they have attempted therapy.
Right.
I think they need therapy before they could even begin to try and bring the father, the potential, the ex-lover into this, because then that's just going to be a barrage of BS. And there's going to be nothing valuable that comes out of everyone sit in the room and talk about this. That's going to be
I
somebody
could just see him scrapping. I see him scrapping.
somebody somebody going to jail. Like somebody's going to jail that night.
I see him scrapping.
So but I think a therapist definitely needs to be involved. There needs to be some boundaries set, but first we need to find out who's who for sure. Sure. When what you thinking?
So okay, all right. So yes, we need to find out if this is the father, which is a separate thing that she needs to do with her daughter. Absolutely. Excuse me. I think that I would want to know where he is, because there's two things here. The sex could for him could be the way that he is still showing attachment and trying to figure out, can I move beyond this hurt? Because in his heart of hearts, he knows who the father is. And so, though it would be healthy to cut it off, you also have to go into this understanding that now that you have established this as the way that you all have attached, to rip that off now rips away for him the attachment. So I would, if I were his counselor, tell him that you need to make a determination that if you really want to be with her, that you have to do it more than sex. Not so much that you have to be in a relationship with her, not so much that y'all need to get back together, but you have to start trying to connect in a way that is not sexual intimacy. So if it is go to counseling, let's go to counseling. But I don't even know if counseling right away is going to work, because so a lot of times for us as men,
excuse me,
divorce is the way to end pain, like to stop the pain. And so I don't know, but if he's not ready to deal with the pain that he's feeling, then it's like I'm hurt, but I still want to reach, I still like you. So you hurt me, but I like, so we got to work through that. But eventually, yes, they do need to get to counseling. They need to talk to somebody. They need to make a decision. I want to try to be with you. I want to try, which means I'm going to have to try to raise this young lady who is probably not my daughter. And at some point, I'm going to have a mature adult relationship with this other man. And I'm really going to have to forgive you
for doing it.
So he's going to have to walk through all of those levels of, uncover all of that. And if he's willing to do that, then okay, now let's remove the sex. Let's replace that with something else. But if he just removed the sex and they don't replace it, there's no chance for them, because he's gonna find his good feeling something between somebody else's legs.
And she also, I think, Cicely, before you come back in, because it's just popped in my brain, because like full transparency, like I've all of my children belong to my husband, but infidelity has happened in my marriage on both sides, and I've not hid that from anyone. I've talked about that before, and I can say that men go through many different stages when in this particular situation, and I want her to also be prepared that the sex that they've been having could possibly be get back. He could know what that is doing to her. And that could be punishment. That could absolutely be punishment for her. So when she cuts this off and comes to him with this beautiful plan of potential therapy, and we're going to have this beautiful co-parenting process later on down the line, and you doing all of this beautiful thing, that could also very well be not happening for you. This divorce could be final. That could be the end, and you finally wised up, and he's like, oh well, damn. Oh well, and we're gonna separate and move on. You know what I mean? So you have to move with
Yep.
the understanding that you and your babies must be okay and
Yeah.
be willing to accept that fallout, because pain makes you do some malicious things. And you heard that man. He's looking at the visual of that. Him saying we can do this, but we can't never see this man. He can't be here. You know that's a delusion. You knew in your heart when he said that was not going to work.
Right.
I want, this. So the other part, I want to know, has she actually moved beyond his infidelity? Because I'm interested and intrigued in, in this whole story. Like, is this what's the time frame between the two?
Yeah, we need a better timeline for sure. Yeah.
Because if she's still carrying some stuff with her, that we gotta work through that too. Because then is she really wanting does she want a family, or does she want him to be
their family? Yeah, because a family and their family could be two totally different things.
Yeah,
that's true.
Gotta forgive. So,
well, that's the reasoning, I think, from I don't know if you heard that part about that was the whole ensuing of this friend or homie, lover, friend, whomever that comforted her to begin with. That's what started the affair, because her heart wasn't right from the infidelity of her husband, even though she was, I guess, trying to do her due diligence to stay in it, but her heart never released it. She found comfort in the arms of another man. They had an affair, and now she was on the other foot. And now bruh, has to determine, okay, am I going to offer her the same level of forgiveness? But we, you know what I'm saying? How far
tolerance.
Go? Tolerance. That's good. That's good. That's good. So tolerance, and like, as you said, I want to know more really about the state of the husband and like where he is in it. Just like you were mentioning, like, is there even a desire there? There was a brilliant, point Q in regard to, I was thinking that his sex was vengeful as well, because that is going to hit a different spot, no pun intended, with women than with men, right? And so he would be more susceptible to disconnect, his heart from that act than a woman would, especially one who was married to this man.
Yep.
So yeah,
every time they go back to that warm and fuzzy place until he gets up and goes back to wherever place he is.
Precisely. So he may not even, be desiring to, like you say, like reunite. And if not at all, in all honesty, then it's a moot cause. If you're listening, on the segment right now, we're definitely going to get this information to you, but it will be a moot point, I think for you to be trying to, all the therapy and things. If he does desire, I agree with Q, like, do it together. Don't bring the third party in. Just do it together and try to, fight for it. Because after all, you all were married. Yep. So, and not just had an affair or what have you, as with the other party. So that's my thoughts about that. But I would really love to hear more so about where his true intentions are right now, or where his true heart is.
I think so. I agree, but I think I don't want to minimize that. In most instances, after something like this has happened, not all, but in a lot of instances, if a man is still is able to physically interact with you, and let me say, not just like in a, if he's doing it in a romantic way.
Yeah, we don't know how. Yeah.
Then there is, then in most instances, and I mean most, he is still, his heart is still there. He just doesn't know how to bring the rest of them.
Wrestle with them.
So
yeah.
So
depends on the man.
Yeah, because a lot of times we don't know how to communicate betrayal, and we don't know how to communicate, how to say, this makes me I feel betrayed. We just, we know I feel disrespected. We might say that, but there's a different level to disrespect and betrayal. And so, for him to work out of this feeling of betrayal, especially if he is emotionally, I'm going to use a bad word, emotionally immature, and then that's going to take time.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a grief that happens in the relationship when infidelity happens.
Yes,
So
of
you can't
course.
expect that those 7 stages that you go through when you lose a
Very
loved
good.
one, you
Very good.
lose your loved one, so to speak, when you have to grapple with that. So you go
Mhm.
through every last one of those stages before forgiveness happens. That's why I mentioned tolerance. They hadn't hit those
Yeah.
stages. They were at that just okay, well, just it is what it is. They have
Right.
not dealt with those things, which is why I
Right.
agree. They need to get she first needs to find out who's who on that baby, but then
Mhm.
she also needs to have a very real, blunt, face to face, clothes on. We set a time, and this is what somewhat similar to an agenda type of situation where it's clear that
Yes.
this is where we're going with this. This is
Yes.
what I want. Have your agenda together, and then say, now you know. And we need to have that before we can even. I'm not spending none of my copay, not deductibles, not now one of my wellness points on a group therapy session unless it's gonna be something we doing as a group, okay? Or
Yeah.
else me and my baby gonna go and sit on this couch and do what we need
Right.
to do, And
Right.
I think that's really kind of where we need to go. And it's just you have to be honest
I
with
agree.
you. You got before you can expect anybody else to
Yeah.
be honest with you. You have
Yeah.
to be honest with you first.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Shanae brought an interesting point. She says it sounds like she has a reminder of the affair in her child, and I guess the husband didn't have his reminder in his infidelity. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, the child could be a trigger, I guess, for her every
Yeah.
time. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the child, it's like, I know this child
Baby, because I
belongs to
couldn't
that
do it.
man. Yeah,
I could deal with a lot, but because the love I have for children
yeah,
that would be a tough one for me to have
yeah,
to be able to lovingly be the stepmama to something that came, from that.
yeah,
That
yeah.
might be where sis got to bow out gracefully, you know what I mean? And
Mhm. Yeah, that's real. That's
I
real.
know that about me though.
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
That was one of them clear
Yeah,
cut things for me.
absolutely. And my only last thought was in regard to, was there an emotional maturity, as Wynn was talking about, in the marriage to begin with, as they were married? So when they were married for 13 years, it doesn't necessarily mean that that was an evolved marriage. It
That's
could
right.
have been very much built around a
Absolutely.
great sex life. And if that was all that they had, then that's all they're going to know.
Yep. And now they got to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Are there other children? Did we say there were other
Yes,
kids?
they have
They
three
other
children together. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 children. And then possibly one is of the other man. Yeah. So, sis, if you are listening, we pray that this has assisted you. I think there's been a lot of wise counsel given. It was really important to me to bring 2 married people on the line. One, having to when I'm gonna clear it up now. When is available, y'all? He's
Nope.
single, ready.
Nope.
Oh, you married? You got married?
I'm IRS single. I mean,
Right. There we go.
Wait a minute. So when 2 people who were married, when is divorced? Q is married. So they are my marital experts, okay? So when is an expert as a divorcee? I call them expert. I don't care what they call it, okay? I call them expert. More expert than me, that's for sure, okay? So yeah, I really hope that through the 3 of us that you have getting some wise counsel in regard to it. When what you laughing at? He said IRS single. Yes, exactly. So that's our segment for tonight. Thank you for submitting your fire starter letter, and we are praying the best for you and your future relationships, especially with the children. Prioritize your babies, as Q said.
Yep.
Okay? Yeah, that's your responsibility. Thank you, Shanae. We appreciate you. Okay, this has been Passion Talk, y'all. We've just been a part of. We've given you practical tools for everyday living so you can press into your personal power. Until next time, I want you to stay in purpose, stay in passion,
Press,
stay in
press.
power, yes, and stay on fire. We all got to press, all right?
If they want to get in contact with you.
Yeah. So if you want to submit for a Firestarter letter, if you want to be featured on our next segment, please email me at firestarterpassion@gmail.com. And the website rebuild is nearly done, y'all. So
Hey.
you will have a Firestarter website to look into to contact me further. But firestarterpassion@gmail.com for all of your coaching needs, and we would love to serve you.
Thank you, sis.
Okay.
This was an
Yeah.
honor. Thank you for inviting us
Oh,
to do
honor
this
is
with
all
you.
mine. Thank
Much
you.
appreciated.
Anytime I could be with my crew, I appreciate it. I'm sorry y'all couldn't get y'all a break today. I'm sorry, they're gonna have to drink some water on the side of something. I let Win go pee. That was enough, okay? So I love
This
y'all.
was good.
I'll see you in November, which is my birthday month. Hello.
Hey, dirty wine for the birthday.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all next month. I love y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
That was good.
That was very good. That's a deep scenario too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew.
But it's happened. We live in life out here. Like
Absolutely.
we are experiencing life
Absolutely. A lot of it.
all at once
A whole lot of it at the same time.
at the same time.
At the same time. Let's see. We ain't got that much time. Trying to see.
I just had Trey Songz in my we about to dive in.
You want to do the here? You want to do these other hot topics, or you want to?
How many do we have left?
Two.
Yeah, let's do those.
All right.
And we can do our ads at the end.
All right. Here's some feedback.
No.
All right.
Testing.
I hear feedback. What is that? Okay.
I think we're good.
All right. So here it is. It says, anyone else thought like this, or do we not think like him in this? Because it's with someone we are having a mutually agreed sexual encounter. I posted this.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, I've been talking about a whole lot of sex this last week. I'm not getting any. I wish you would. So she says, I wish you would just. I mean, it's been all up and down my timeline. So I get.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I wish you would just grab me, throw me up against the wall, tear my clothes off, and choke me while you. And he interrupts and says, do you have any idea how many effing felonies that is? So my question was, is this how men think? Like, do men think like this? Is this or do you not think like that because this is someone who you are in a mutually agreed, you're having a mutually agreed sexual encounter with? What are your thoughts?
Yes, sis. Facts. Facts.
Absolutely.
So I wouldn't say what she said to a new man in my life. So if this were me in this situation, I would have been highly irritated if I would have said this to my man and this is how he responded to me. Because if I'm saying this to you, we've already had sex. We have a sexual relationship established. This is me being sassy, sexy, trying to get you riled up, being kinky, whatever the case may be. And you just killed my vibe now. Like, I'm irritated. Like, I'm not here for that. Because, yeah. That's why. But I can't understand why, if a man were to hear this from a woman, say out in a public space, and she's describing the type of sex that she likes, and that is what she's looking for, I could see where a man is like, whoa, like, I got to know you a little bit before we go there, because that's a trust thing. You know what I mean? Because it's hard out here for a pimp. Folks is getting in trouble for this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So like, I understand the sentiment.
Which I don't think he'll mind at all, by the way.
Yeah. So, you know, I get it, but at the same time, you would think I would not be saying this to some random man that would be fearing a felony behind me. If I say this, bruh, do not respond like that. I'm gonna just put it out there like that. If this is what I'm saying to you, do not respond like this.
Yeah.
That ain't what you want.
I think so. So I agree with you that a lot of this depends on context.
Yeah.
A lot of it depends on, and this is also excluding. There's been some type of traumatic experience that's happened to the brother, to the person who is here,
or even somebody close to him,
or somebody close to him. Yeah, so I'm excluding that because if you have experienced that, then I can recognize that might be might be problematic for you. I get that. But if you have, I think the only reason I see this happening is some of this is personality. Like I think that there are some guys who are who just see this as that's not their personality. They don't have aggressive personalities, and because you don't have that naturally aggressive personality, when it comes to something like this, you think, I don't know, or going back to what we talked about earlier, you have not had that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you're having the conversation on a regular basis about what you like, what you don't like, sometimes, then you don't, not only does this not happen, but what also doesn't happen is you don't have the monotony that a lot of couples get in, where it's like all we do is the same three positions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you're breaking it up with other things and trying new things all the time, because now you got, because you're having those conversations. So that there are times that she likes it this way. There are times she likes it that way. There are times you want to try this.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to try that she's not sure. And when you both, the beauty of this is when you both get to a place where you can have these conversations, there's pretty much nothing off limits. Lord, I hope my mama not listening. There's pretty much nothing, anything. I mean, she grown, but there's nothing off limits because you two are feel safe enough with each other to say, even if this is something I might not be comfortable with, let's try it. Like,
because I trust you.
I'm willing to try it with you because I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this speaks of of lack of trust and communication, or like I said, of this is a personality, because even if it is your personality, you will come out of that for your person, for the person who you feel safe with, for somebody who will say, let's try it and let's see what happens. I don't know. I've never done this. Hey, I'm afraid I might hurt you. Okay. But like Shanae said, if hamburger, if I say hamburger, that means it's hurt. Let it go, so you just gotta,
or just I'll show you, do it like this, like,
right.
I mean,
right. Absolutely. So yeah, to me, this is either a personality thing, lack of confidence, where there's lack of confidence, or y'all just ain't talking. Y'all just ain't talking, because I don't care what this is my show. I can say what I want. I don't care what nobody say. There is not a woman who does not have that kind of freak in her to want to try stuff. They want to try it, y'all. Don't we? Like, we just got to make it safe for them to try it. I digress.
And I will also say, because there is room for people to not. Yeah, you want to try it. But there is also, with all of that being said, and all of our encouragement for you to reach out and touch somebody's hand on some new things, there's also room for the understanding that everything isn't for everybody. Right. But when you are presented with a proposition of something, and that it is not necessarily your jam, it's not necessarily the time to shame someone for speaking on that. And in a way, this kind of is a way to do that. That whole, now, that's a criminal thing that you're asking for. No, I just like to have a little jokey joke every now and again. Like, damn, bro, like, because you don't want to do it don't mean I'm a criminal behind it. You know what I'm saying? So we also have to think about how we come about telling someone that's not my jam. You know what I mean? Because you do want her to be able to try some things. You might not be up for this, but you're going to be up for something.
It's something else.
Right. So if she's worried about being accused of having had a boys called on her, then that's gonna be a whole nother situation. She's gonna be quiet. Sis is gonna be hush about it, and then we'll find out her fantasies in the ladies groups when we have to
She gonna be in the group. She gonna be in the group telling them.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, come on now. Come on now.
All right, a couple of these comments. She said, "This reads like a man who can't catch one more case." Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It's a. Oh. Oh God. Since we want to brother this with 3 strikes. Yeah, no.
Okay, they had a whole nother side conversation.
Yeah, I look like me. Hold on, let me go. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Amen. I'm a whole side. A whole what? Oh,
West Side Thug. Shanae has a comment though at the last one. It made me question if he's harmed a woman before, if that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yep, there's some type of traumatic experience that has happened that clearly this triggers, or like I said, or it's just not his personality, and he's never tapped into that part of, or it could just be, again, it's not his personality period, because there are some people who just you find somebody who is in the sexual realm that you are, and y'all make it work.
Do that thing.
All right, last one. What was that, the last one? Nope. Oh, yeah. All right. So this one says, Dre said this. So here's the question. I've cheated on my husband the entire first year of our marriage, and I finally told him in a marriage counseling session. We were okay for a while, and I felt so free. We even had a child, joined a church, and purchased a new home after the confession. My husband has this crazy thought in his head that he has a pass to cheat on me whenever he wants to. That's not how a marriage works, and if he cheats on me, I'm leaving him. I refuse to be cheated on. I was a young, foolish woman then, but we are now adults, and this is unacceptable. What do you think?
The lies we tell ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you. Both of them. Both of them lie. They lie. First of all, ma'am, go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead, ladies first.
Yeah, you wrong, sis. You wrong. Y'all both wrong. Y'all should have continued counseling. All that other stuff that y'all did, all of the buying of the property and the making of the babies and all that other stuff, y'all sold each other a dream. Period. After you made that confession about y'all couldn't go 12 months before you started doing your thing after saying I do.
She said the whole first year.
The whole first year. And what year are we in now? Did we rush through this after that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, was this a guilt baby? Where all of the rest of this man is thinking these things. You know what I'm saying? So after you made this confession in counseling, I want to know what the counselor said. Like, that was supposed to level the F up as far as counseling is concerned. Now, when you dig into that, the therapist should have been like, whoa, pause. You know what I mean? Rewind, record, scratch. Okay. You know what I mean? We got to deal with some different things. So the fact that now this was done, he was able to say, oh, okay. Oh, is that what we did? All right. So I think the therapist missed some stuff to allow y'all to leave therapy, or if y'all maybe checked out of therapy or whatever, but there was something that was missed that was not connected, that he was not over that, for the fact that he still feels he has that pass to cheat. So yes, if he cheats, is he wrong? Yes, he is wrong. Yes, absolutely. But this high horse that you standing on, sis. Back to the stable you go, sis. Back to the stable you go.
First year?
She wrong. I can't condone this. This is wrong.
You're supposed to be honeymooning. Woo. I don't have anything else to add. But you said it's on point. I think they gotta, throw the whole thing away. No, don't throw it. I'm kidding. But they have to. I mean, I think his idea of a pass to cheat is very clearly saying he's not over it. I think her wanting to sit on this high horse, like you said, of I was a young foolish woman then, but now we are adults, and that's unacceptable. No, you don't get to do that, ma'am. Unfortunately, you don't get to do that because you set this as the temperature of your relationship. So
Yep.
by cheating, let's just say this again, the whole entire first year, and then told him in marriage counseling, which we'll have another discussion about that another time. I would like to know what brought her to tell him about this in his marriage counseling, because if he didn't like that, yeah.
And I bet she was one of those oblivious confessor people too, who said it. Automatically, the guilt was lifted off of her shoulders. So now that it's out here, now you're supposed to magically be okay, and you're good. You're good. Now we can go on and live happily ever after. Okay, babe. And he's like, all right.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You know what I mean?
That is one of the that's one of the more irresponsible things that we do, is we, like you said, take the weight off of us and place it on somebody else. So now we feel good about ourselves, but now he got to walk around with this, with the weight of what you did. No.
Yeah, this was wrong. From then to now. Like, because like I'm questioning all of this other stuff. This all seems performative now at this point.
It seems like he was like you said, the having the child, joining a church, buying a home was like, okay, let's see if we can make this
we checking boxes,
normal and right. And so, so maybe if we look good, I'll get over it type thing. And no, they still got some internal work to do. So yeah,
all that sounds like Mo-ish to split. That's all that sounds like to me. If they don't do that work, all that sounds like is Mo-ish to split.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this topic.
Speaking of work.
Yeah, speaking of work. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, y'all. So that was a beautiful segue. I am glad we finished Hot Topics, because tonight we are talking about that's work. That's yup. He's about to outrun hers, and she about to be with some dust. It's about to be hurt. Anyway. So tonight we are going to talk about, should we stop saying that marriage is work? We have had a lot of conversation about why should we still get married? What is the purpose of marriage? Why are people not wanting to get married the way that they used to? Are there still benefits of marriage? Like, we have had all of the discussions as far as marriage. And a lot of the times, over and over and over again, we hear that people are talking about, why would we sign up for something that is always presented as this much work? It's so hard. We always hear about the bad things and all the struggles and all of that. So why would I want to sign up for that? Sign my life away for this kind of work? So tonight we're going to talk about, is there really a need for rebranding, or is this a reality check? I kind of added that little bit to the end of there because, the more I've been thinking about this, the more I've kind of thought to myself, yeah, I can see how that can be off-putting. But once you experience it, it makes all the sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. Is it time for a reality therapy session, or do we need to rebrand this thing? Okay. Or relationships, long-term relationships, marriage, situation, partnerships, whatever you call your thing, is it work, or should we call it something else? Okay, Wim, I'm gonna let you go now. It's usually me starting out. I'm gonna start with you. What are your thoughts on this?
So first of all, I think I have been thinking about this for at least 6 months, because as we say, words matter, and words culturally come with certain ideas, thoughts, and different meanings, and those meanings change.
Right.
So when we're looking at, so that's one thing that made me think about it. And then the other thing is, I'm looking at statistics that are showing that since 2018, we have stepped into a period of time where the rate of marriage is the lowest it has ever been in this country. And so people are getting married less. People are getting married later. Divorce numbers are actually decreasing a little bit, but divorce for people who have been married 20 years and up is increasing. So it's like, so to me, the question with all of that was, should we should when we say and present marriage as work, are we presenting it in a similar way with the same attitude that we present when we go to our jobs? And what I mean by that is, you go to your job, and even if you don't like it, you stay because you are responsible for feeding your for your bills, and like, it's a toil, it's something you don't want to do. It's something that, that it's like there's no, that the only reward that I'm going to get from this is this check that I'm barely surviving with. Like, that is the connotation when we think about, for a lot of people, when you think about work, you don't think fun, you don't think growth, you don't think and then you don't think about that you don't think about that there are going to be more good times than bad times. You don't think about any of that. It's just, I don't feel like doing it, but I got to do it. You know what I mean? So it's heavy to stop. So again, so to me it was, so what I came up with, I said all that to say, I came up with the thought of, instead of saying that marriage is work, should we say that marriage is an endeavor? Because the word endeavor is defined as an earnest and industrious effort, especially when sustained over time. So to me, that sounds like that still brings in the idea that there's going to have, that it requires effort, because there's an intentionality that has to be in marriage. I have to be intentional about loving you. I have to be intentional about discovering you. I have to be intentional about progressing myself. They're industrious because I have to be creative in how I do it. And it has to be done over a period of time in order for this to work. So to me, endeavor sounds like, I think Star Trek. Like, we're going to try something, go to a place we've never gone before, knowing that there's going to be some work, some effort, some things that have to be done, but it doesn't bring the same like heaviness that
it's sexier.
Let me go clock in this 9 to 5 and get these people their time so I can go home and get to the weekend and enjoy my 2 days and I go back to this work. So that's where I came from when I thought through this.
Okay.
And I say that from a male perspective, because from a male perspective, I think that's how we think about work.
So, to the connotation with work, I see that. However, you also have to think about, when we go to work, ideally that work is for someone else. Our connection and our frustration to our jobs is often because the reward, the check is the exchange. We don't really get a reward often from our work. The reward often goes to the owner of said business. Okay. We're working for someone else's goals. We have to look at marriage within the context of what you're working for, who you're working for. And I believe that when we're doing this work in the realm of a marriage, our goals should be shared. So that work is framed differently, because the work that I'm doing is for a person that I love like I love myself. So the value of that work, the effort, the tired, the stress, the frustration that I have when I have to go through the not so great times for this work is still worth it. Because when I'm finished doing this work, that reward is still going to be mine. There's more to it than simply a check. Now, I can also recognize that while there are still a lot of people that are in these environments where it should be we're getting this shared reward, and they don't feel that that's happening. That's why you got those stats that you got as far as these long-term relationships that are now ending. And you're seeing people who have done a different type of pre-work later in life because we've now taken the time to figure out what it is that we want, what we need, what really makes us tick. We can finally identify what type of work and reward we want and then align ourselves with people who have those same goals. Takes longer to do that. Life takes a little longer to get to those types of understandings. So that work seems less like work and it seems more worth it. But when we're young, we don't really know all that. We don't figure all those things out. And yes, we don't always get in alignment with the people that we're supposed to be doing that work with. So it feels very much like that same clock in, clock out, get my check, sex, food, stability, security, whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? So that we have to check ourselves in who we're doing our work with. So we can't put that on marriage. That's not marriage's fault. Marriage has been marriage, and the work has always had those same rewards when you're doing business with the right people. You know what I mean? So if we're gonna keep riding out with this analogy, like you got to be in business with the right people. You can't go into partnership with everybody. You know what I mean? So if we're not working with the right people to gain the same goals, you're not going to see the value of that work. It's going to feel like a job. That's how I see it. Because yes, it's work. It's work.
It's work, and I'm not, and I don't think that's. I'm not suggesting it's not. I'm suggesting that to continue to say it with the same, to keep using the word with the connotation is harmful. Or is it harmful to getting people to the space where they see the beauty of that goes into endeavor work, whatever word you choose? Because even if we're saying that there's supposed to be some type of reward that comes from it, ultimately what winds up happening and again, this is from a male perspective, is marriage most of the time does not feel rewarding. And because it is for the male, it is pitched as your role is to make the other person happy, to make everyone else happy. And at some point, if you sacrifice enough, you'll get this reward. And so I don't think that from a male perspective that is how we always see the exchange in marriage. And so you could even really be in the same in the marriage with the right person, or with the right person, and you still aren't getting that back. What you're getting back is you're getting, the pat on the head for cutting the grass, making sure you cut the grass, make sure you do the checking off all the stuff that you're supposed to be a good husband, and you're still going, but I'm not fulfilled because my dreams I'm not going after those. My aspirations, I'm not. And if I do, then now I am seen as someone who is taking away from the happiness of the other people on this team, as opposed to being a part. My aspiration, dreams, and goals are being something that's being done too, are being considered. Let me say that. So I get what you're saying, and I'm not suggesting that the word is bad. I'm suggesting that just like with anything else, sometimes to use a different word brings a different perspective and potentially a fresh way of looking at it. Because again, work is the work. Like, you're gonna do it. You have to do it. Both people should do it. But just like anything else, sometimes you got to just redo the logo to sell the same hamburger.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking through what you just said as far as the thing that marriage not living up to what it's expected to be. There's an assumption being made by the generalization of men that you're speaking about, because of course.
Right. It's multiple thoughts within male.
Yeah. But if we're talking about the connotation of we do all of these things and we're not getting the reward, like it makes it sets it up as though just because a woman finds or is married, and then all of her boxes are fulfilled. Like that work is not. But no, here as a woman, you gave it to me from the men's perspective.
Yeah.
But processing what you just said to me, comes with the assumption that your unhappiness and that his unhappiness in the work that he has to do towards this reward is a reward that he too does not get to share in, or that it is one that completely fulfills all of her needs as a wife because I'm magically married and that's all that I need. Like there are not dreams, there are not aspirations, there are not desires, there are not things that she too needs that he might not be fulfilling in the midst of all of this work. So, you know, there's two people have to be involved in, you know, and agree to become married. So there's this idea, this it's hard for me to get behind that all these men have been drugged to the altar begrudgingly with these people who they don't want to do no work with. They don't want to be with this. I guess. All right. We got a bunch of Al Bundys at the altar just sitting with Peg with her bonbons waiting on that. Get like that. That's not what we're doing here. You know what I mean? And if it is, then again, like I said before, that's not marriage's fault. That is not what marriage is. That is what we are bringing into that situation. Your marriage is going to go through all kinds of twists and turns and ups and downs and things like that. But we can't use this connotation as a crutch to not see what we've created for ourselves, to really look at the view. Because I get where men say, you know, usually in divorces, they don't work out the way that they're supposed to, you know, ideally, and they get the bad end of that. You got babies in the situation that you got to come see on the weekends and do the back and the forth with. Your money is gone a lot of the times, you know, that type of thing, no matter if you were balling or if you were barely making it, you know what I mean? That is a hit. You know, I get it. I'm not discounting that.
Right.
But that is all saying if this doesn't work, you know what I mean? And we have to admit that a lot of the times we assume everyone when telling their story will say that I did all of the things. There's not you know, Rip, you've gotten to a point though where now that's easier for you to say. You know, it's hard for people to sometimes admit immediatally or even after time that yeah, I played a big part in the reason why this thing didn't work. You know what I mean? So like I'm all for every 1, 2, 3, everybody own a ish. You know what I mean? And if we have the desires, then we have to do the work to get to that end game. And I just
so here's my question. My question is, because I asked in my other conversation about this, why is using the word? What is the resistance to changing the word? Instead of saying from work?
Because at the end of the damn day, it's work. You have to think about it. You have to commit to it. You have to be.
Say that though.
I don't know, because it is endeavor means I got to Google some stuff. For the average person, we're gonna have to Google what endeavor means. I'm gonna have to commit that to my memory. That's a warm and fuzzy, cute word to say. I'm gonna have to do some work. I'm gonna have to put forth some effort. I'm gonna have to get my hands dirty. I'm gonna have to do something. Like call a thing a thing. Call a thing a thing. 4 letters is all we need. This time we don't need more words. 4 letters is WORK. That's what it is.
So because it's a word that we already have, we want to keep it.
Yes. Like, why do we have to? Because then that leaves more room for confusion. That leaves more room for confusion. Because now we got to get into what intention means. We got to get into, you know, all these other things. And you know, we like to find gray. We like to find gray. Work. There is a goal. There are actions required to reach said goal. That is work. Simple and plain. You can do that from little to bigs. Can get work.
Shanae agrees with you.
Just saying.
Simple as endeavor leaves too much.
It does. It's flower, and y'all know I'm all about branding. I'm all about branding, but I'm also about selling a thing for what it is. I'm not for false advertising. And sometimes marriage is not sexy. Sometimes there's not a cute bow or button or thing to put on it. Like, look at the scenario we had. Like, look at some of the hot topics that we have. We like to put these things in imaginary social media boxes, but these are real life. This is real life for people. You can't tell me that this ain't been work. I've been married almost 20 years now. This has been work. I love it. I enjoy it. I wouldn't, you know, I'm not going to trade it for that, but it has been work. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the damn day, it's been work. You know, so like, and I mean, I can't imagine, you know, and there'll be people that'll tell you, oh, yes, it's just wonderful, and we don't ever fight, and it's just beautiful, and he worships the ground that I walk on, and da 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 da. That's cute, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry, because humans have conflict. Humans have conflict. And that's just what it is. So you can't tell me you are having a true human experience with your spouse and you have not encountered a situation where there has been work required for you all to get to the next stage. Like, I don't believe it.
Oh, I wouldn't believe it either.
Yeah.
Wrote a whole book on it, so I definitely would believe it. But
Right.
I still think, like I said, I personally don't see an issue with you changing the word.
I get it.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get with you on it, but
I mean, and I get why it's not. But what's interesting part is when I have this conversation, men are always like, yes, change it. Women are always like, no, keep it. And so I need to do more to understand why, because there is this idea, even in the comment, like in these comments,
I'm with
it's
teamwork.
the same thing. Like, no one wants to, like, there's this idea, even though we all agree that, you know, what comes with it, it's like, yeah, nah, I ain't with that. So it's interesting to see. I think the work without the extra discussion of the reward attached to the word can make it off-putting for the non-married folks. Okay.
I can agree with that. I ain't just volunteering to do work for nothing. So, like, yeah, I mean, I get it. I need to know. I need a clear understanding of what the reward is going to be. I agree.
Shatoria said it's hard and something different at every stage. Absolutely. Damon says, can we say marriage is teamwork?
Yep.
With that word, you can't get around the fact that more than one person has to show up for the marriage. I can get with that.
Yep.
I can get with that.
I agree with that. We'll allow it, Damon. The women will allow it.
Toya says teamwork makes the dream work. Yes. Cicely says maybe it's the perception behind the word work, which we know, of course, perception is everything. It's not a cuss word either. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Because I can identify with men saying that they're required to do the work. Like, ideally, when there's work to be done, we would think that it would be on the men to do the work. But that is generally outside the home, and that's not even true anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
like, to me, that's a reach for you to say that for someone to say marriage is work, and then for the men to assume that all the work is for them. Yeah, when it doesn't say marriage is work for the men, it says marriage in itself is work.
I don't think
you know what I mean.
I don't think that's true at all. In terms of that, yeah, I don't think that marriage is work just for men. I don't think that at all. I don't think.
So then I really don't understand the whole work word being the trigger. I was even trying. See, that was my last
like Cicely said, it's the perception of the word. So the way that we perceive a word carries weight. So if we perceive a word as negative, even if there are negative parts to it, like we perceive work as, like I said, toil, slavery. Like it doesn't come with the feel like we do. Like, I got to go slave at the job. You know what I mean? Like, I could just slave at work today. Like, all of the negative connotations that come with the word work, we're carrying over into and telling people, hey, sign up for this slavery. I think mentally that's what people who are either averse or don't know what they bring to it. Again, we absolutely know that there's going to be work, but what is the work? What does the word look like? What's the point of the work? And all of us have to do it. Is, I think, what we're having to is part of the problem.
That feels like telling people to quit their 9 to 5 and open a business so they can set their own schedule. Like, to me, because like you're still going to have to do, if not more work, almost. You know what I mean? Like, there's almost more work to be done when you leave one for the other. Like, the dressing up of it makes it feel like, you know what I mean? That's like that bait and switch that's been going on with everyone saying, oh, you tired of working for the man? Go work for yourself. Like, okay, so does that hustle now become better because it's a hustle for you as opposed to a hustle for the man? Are you any less tired because you have worked 12 hours opposed to your normal 8 hours?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's debate. I think it's reimagining. I think what I'm proposing is the reimagining of what marriage is and could be.
Okay. As
opposed to that. I think that's what it is. Because again, it has a meaning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, hold on. I got lost in all these comments. Oh, then we have to look at more marriages in the positive light. Yeah, and I would agree with that, but I think Q, you will agree with this. One of the hardest things for us to ever do is to find people who want to talk about marriage, couples who want to talk about marriage in a positive light. Like we try to get people on here to talk about it, and they be like, "No, I'm good," and that's always been difficult. So I agree, we
And
do.
frustrating.
Yeah, we definitely need that, but it really seems more men are showing up with the expectation of a woman doing the most for them while they go 50-50 on bills and still do everything. And he feels she's rewarded just by him coming home and giving mediocre sex. I can't say that some men don't fit into that. I can't lie. Um, John says we need to have our definitions in order when it comes to work. I agree. Say more, John. I agree. Um, instead of I have to exchange it for I get to work, but it's still work. But one to be honored with the reward as mentioned instead of drudgery.
Mm.
Mhm. We all got to change it up. That's bad if people don't want to talk about it because it's many marriages that are positive. Mhm. Work is work no matter what form it takes. It requires energy, input with the goal of something desired. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Don't disagree with any of that. Don't disagree with any of that. Good discussion. Y'all are dope. Y'all are dope with the comments today. That's good.
Yep. Good talk, y'all. Good talk, family. Good talk.
Yeah, cool. That's good. Now I'm gonna go back and keep using work, and I'm gonna keep trying to figure out endeavor, and
Yeah.
and I'm gonna figure out a word. Maybe that's not the word. I don't know. I'm just again for me. I am committed to trying to figure out ways for us to make marriage and relationships look like good and healthy. Or and not to say that in a way that makes it seem like that's something that a person has to do, or that a person can't be good and healthy without it. But Tori said leave it. Sorry, sister.
I'm thinking to myself, maybe effort. Like even when we first chatted about it, I was like, okay, maybe effort. Like I can give effort. Like
Effort doesn't. Again, listen, I'm all about the marketing. I'm all about this. The somebody's. So part of me is that whole, like, I don't want the Cinderella story, but I don't. But at the same time, like, there's reality to it. But I don't want us to lose the magic, or the idealism, the hopefulness that comes, that should come with the idea of finding someone that you can do life with. So,
but see, when to get to that though, like we have to be willing to. That is partially why we can't find people to come on here and talk truthfully and honestly with all of this vigor that we expect them to do about positive relationships, because by and large, our culture does not really provide the space for people to share also the negative things and then also share that positive where that balances out. People will share their negatives that they've gone through and then try and remix it with the positive as far as their marriage is concerned. And people will get stuck on that next. See, man, I don't know if I've been able to do all that, man. No. So instead of we being able to be, revel in your testimony and how your work then became this reward, because look at us now, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We don't get that part, because people know that we tear up that negative. So if I come to you with this positive, knowing good and damn well we done had 20 years of work, and I can't go into the depths and details of this work because that's not sexy enough for the people to hold on to. That's why, because when you've been in a long-term relationship and you've done some work, to really tell your story, so that it adds the value that you wanted to, you got to tell that story. So you know what I mean? So like we have to, while we trying to remix it so people are convinced that it's the thing that we want them to do, like, do we really want that? Or do we want to tell the truth about the thing so people can really go into it understanding this is what this is. This can happen. Positive can come on the other side of this thing, but this is some of what it takes to get there. But if
we want both. We want both. That's what I'm saying. We want both. We want people to understand that there is going to be ugly, but that there is still good that comes out of it. And right now, we don't get the good. All we hear is the ugly. That's all we hear is the and I can from a single person. I'm a single person. Marriage looks terrible. And outside to the point where outside of this, outside of having, if you believe this, outside of having sex that God ain't gonna be mad at you about, what the hell is the point? I mean, that's literally what people think. Like, what am I doing? So if that's not a benefit, and we know that that's not, that there's way more to it. My point is we've lost the idea that there is more to it than sex that God ain't gonna, that God ain't gonna strike you down for when he see you. Like, it's more to it. So it's how do we get that back? How do we talk about it where we can say, yeah, we went through it. We went through it. We went through some things, and these were some of the things. But man, listen, I learned, and yeah, I learned as a man that this is the thing that I was missing, and this is what she walked with me and was patient enough to walk with me through. That now, like the man that you see now, is not because I just got it, but because my partner walked through it with me and helped me and loved me and didn't, beat me down because of it and held me accountable, and I'm better for it. Like, we don't get that. We just get
we call it struggle love now. So nobody wants to tell their real life stories because we've hashtagged it. We've hashtagged life as struggle
certain
love.
parts of it. Yeah.
And the fantasy is now what everybody is after. That's what we're expecting. That's what's frustrating to me because this whole we meet and we live happily ever after, we all secure nothing but the bags and we out here winning it like from the gate is the fantasy.
And that's
you know what I mean? And that's cute if that works for your marketing, for your business and all, but that is not always the reality because we are out here living life.
It's never the reality.
Right.
It's never the reality.
Which is my reluctance with the rebranding of work. And this concludes my TED Talk.
But it's actually, for me, it's the exact reason why I think we should rebrand it because we're not presenting the whole thing. So
that's the beauty of this show and why we work so well.
What's she saying? What's she saying? Shatora said, we've been through the good. We got to go. We've been through the good and the bad and the ugly. Absolutely. 2018 was terrible for my home. I remember. Cicely saying, she said, is it just enough for me to get a dynamic date? Can I start there?
Right. Since we use the word.
A dynamic date, huh?
Yes.
The ugly includes no sex, sickness, and health and miscarriages. Yep. Mike said, why do people need to protect their happy and joyful marriage from people? I mean, that's a layered question too, layered response too, because I mean, there's several layers to why that happens. Actually, it's way deeper than that. Disney fantasies cause divorce fast. People get divorced after the honeymoon phase. Absolutely, which is why again I said it needs to be a full definition that includes that there is actually a ton of effort. What did I say in the book? That marriage and relationships require more effort and grace given than you ever thought that you would have to give somebody. That helps with healthy relationships.
You will surprise yourself. Ooh, that was me.
Absolutely. So, all right, good discussion. Great discussion, y'all.
Very good.
Great discussion. All right, let's go ahead and run through these real quick. Again, we talked about earlier, if you want to advertise with us, please do. You saw the wonderful ad at the beginning for Bob's Dispensary and Bob's Gas Station. Y'all advertise with us. Get with me or email us at globaldriveradio@gmail.com where we can get you more information, not just about prices, but about what we can do with your product and your service. And if you need help creating your ad, we can do that too. It's going to cost you a little more. As you can see, Q did a phenomenal job on the Bob's ad. So she did the graphics and the voiceover. All of that was her. So we can help you with that too. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern time, join us on Clubhouse. We're talking about, I just had it in my head and forgot it that quick.
Please.
We're talking about.
We are discussing talking to me versus talking at me.
There it is.
One of my pet peeves. The
What is
thing
it?
that'll get you talked to real sideways with Q Willis.
Yeah. Talk to me versus talk at me. So we're going to be talking about communication, not just communicate, but like how do you deal with, we're going deep. So y'all just be there tomorrow, 7:00, the Scoop on Clubhouse. If you're on Clubhouse, you can literally just search the Scoop on Clubhouse and join the Clubhouse by hitting the little green dot, and you can be there. We also give you a time at the end because I know tomorrow, I think it's me, you, Donnell, Dan, and Jamie, I think tomorrow. So if not, y'all,
that's a good crew. Ooh.
We give you guys time to ask questions and talk. So, and ask us questions and say how you feel. So, y'all, it's a conversation on Clubhouse, which is one of the things that I think we both like about it is we can be more conversational on there than we can be on here. So, join us at 7:00 Central Standard Time, 8:00 Eastern Time on the Scoop on Clubhouse. Get your book. Get your book. Y'all, thank y'all for the people who send me screenshots, whatnot. Get your book. And then if you got your book, thank you. And I would definitely love to hear your thoughts, good and bad. If they bad, send them to me directly. Don't send them to them.
Don't post them.
Just post and tag me on the good ones. Thank you. Yeah, I would definitely love to hear your feedback. Again, I definitely would love to hear if you did. I've got some that people disagree, but my mama called me yesterday and told me it was good, so I'm happy. So get the book.
His mama said.
My mother said it was a good book, so I'm like, well, I'm good now.
Mm-hmm.
And then last, of course, but definitely not least, get your Elegance by Design.
Yes. So this week's ad, we are talking about the Silk and Sassy curling mousse by Elegance by Design. This product is amazing. Sisters, I don't know if you heard or not, but we can use mousse too, okay? For more than just setting our box braids and our protective styles when we are finished with our installation, okay? Elegance by Design has a curling mousse that is amazing for your wet sets, your roller sets, your twist outs, your braid outs. This stuff goes hard, okay? Like, just to nutshell it for you, I love this stuff, okay? While it does take care of your protective style cleanup at the end, this is what you need if your hair, if you don't like a lot of heavy products on your hair, you like something that's going to get in there, get dry pretty quick, but not drying to your hair. Yes, this mousse works. Also, if you are not a super 4C, if you've got some of those, if you are more of a 3C, you've got mixed texture to your hair. If you are just trying to get a little definition, you don't really want to go a gel, this product is what you want to do, okay? So you can visit elegancebydesign.com and pick yours up, or you can visit the Back to My Roots Marketplace in Del City and grab that because it is in stock, ready to go. Yes, at the Back to My Roots Marketplace, okay? So go and pick that up. If you have any other questions about it, styling tips, anything like that, please message me, and I'm more than happy to help. Y'all have a good week.
All right. Any other thoughts or questions or final thoughts you got?
No, this was a good talk. Like, I feel good. I feel like we got through some things tonight. This was a good chat.
Yeah, good, very good conversation. Very good show tonight. Thank y'all, everybody who tuned in tonight. As always, we appreciate you. If you have not hit that share button, do that because we want to continue to grow and share this show with other people. And of course, if you are watching the replay, then please, we ask you to put your comments in. We definitely go back and read them. Let us know where you're tuning in from, the whole nine, because again, we want to be able to communicate with you because we do read our comments from the people who watch the replay. So other than that, thank good fire starter moment tonight. Fire starter letter, excuse me.
Thanks again, sis.
Yeah, very good. Tonight I enjoyed that, and that was a very good scenario. So, and as always, if you would like to be on Dear Firestarter, send the email to firestarterpassion@gmail.com. I couldn't say that too fast. I had to slow down and say that. Thank y'all for tuning in as always. Have a good night.
should just spend it while you standing here. But you say you're with me, and then you try to test me. So I try to keep it low when you knock me to the floor, cause the dark heart is. Would you believe